up, family? Today I'm about to show you how I make my Cuban stew beans. This recipe takes a little time, but it's worth it because we're making this from real dry beans and not canned beans. So I have to make a full-size pan. So right there I have 4 pounds of dry beans. This right here is frozen sofrito cubes. This is the closest ones that I've found to authentic homemade sofrito. So get some of that. I have some fresh cilantro. This right here is 2 Maggi chicken bouillon cubes. We're going to need a can of tomato paste, some olive oil, some adobo, some garlic powder, some onion powder, and of course some of my seasoning. Link in bio. As always, it's the best. It's really good. Make sure you go buy some. Then you're going to also need 2 packs of sazon. And you're gonna need some olives. Yeah, this recipe, it takes a lot, but it's the best stew beans you'll ever have. You're gonna need some recadito. Alright, you're gonna need some of that. You're gonna need a sweet yellow onion, a big one. Well, that's like a medium-sized sweet yellow onion. I'm gonna use the whole thing. You're gonna need some garlic paste. This right here is real authentic garlic paste, or you can make your own. I'm gonna use some canned diced tomatoes just because I don't want my potatoes to get black. I do have real potatoes. I'm choosing to use diced potatoes because I don't want black potatoes. Okay, so right here we have our 4 pounds of black beans in our pot that we're gonna cook it in. We're gonna submerge it in water, swirl it around, and then we're going to dump that water. You're gonna see like a bunch of like the bean skins floating. You don't want that, so you're gonna dump the water out. I do that like 2 times. Then we're going to fill our pot with water. We're going to have the water double the size of the beans because the beans, of course, is going to swell up triple its size as it's cooking. So now on the stove, we're going to add a drizzle of olive oil. We're going to add in our 2 chicken bouillon cubes. This right here is some adobo. Okay. And then we're going to add in some of my seasoning. We're going to season our beans in 2 steps. So this right here is the first step. So I'm putting the top on and we're going to let this simmer for about an hour before we do the next step. So here it is an hour later. This is how our beans are looking. You guys, this recipe takes a little bit of work, but I'm telling you it's worth it. This is going to be the best beans you'll ever taste. So right now I'm adding in 2 more cups of water just because this is just the process, okay? Just trust the process. So now I'm adding in the just chopped up yellow onion. I'm adding in a handful of fresh cilantro. Then I'm going to add in 3 tablespoons of the recadito. And then I'm going to add in that whole can of tomato paste. The whole thing, y'all. Then I'm going to add in a heaping tablespoon of the garlic paste. This right here is 1 of the sofrito cubes. 2 of the sazon packets, and then this right here is half of that jar of olives with about 3 tablespoons of the liquid. That right there is some garlic powder. We're gonna go ahead and mix that up. Make sure you break up that tomato paste. You don't want chunks of tomato paste in your beans as it cooks, so you're just gonna make sure you mix that really well. Okay, I'm just trying to break up the tomato paste. We're going to put that on to simmer again for about another 45 minutes. Here's how it's looking after 45 minutes. It's looking pretty good, but it's not done yet. We want our beans to be a little thicker. You want the beans to break down more, and as they break down, it's going to just make like a gravy. You're going to have a nice, thick, creamy bean gravy, and y'all, just the flavor. These beans are so freaking good. So right now I just added in the diced potatoes because they're almost done. They need like another 20 minutes. So when they have 20 minutes to go, I add in the diced potatoes. I'm adding in another handful of cilantro. This is like a little less than a handful. Like I'd say about 2 tablespoons worth of cilantro. So I'm just going to mix that up, put the top on it again, let it cook down for like another 20-30 minutes. And you guys, when you start seeing that skin form on the top, that's how you know they is almost ready, y'all. All that flavor. Look at how thick that gravy is. Look, y'all. Look at these beans. Look at these beans. We made these from scratch, not canned. And it makes so much. 4 pounds. I had to make a full-size catering pan amount. So 4 pounds makes a full-size catering pan. And look at how nice and thick that gravy is, y'all. And it's nice and thick. The liquid is not thin. It's not sticking to the bottom. Make sure you don't have your fire too high. Once it starts thickening up, have it on a low simmer. You see, this made a nice full-size catering pan. So I was actually able to get me a plate with some of the leftovers. Here's some of my Cuban stew beans, beef stew, white rice, avocado. It was delicious.
Why not, man? I'm coming for that #1 spot. All right.